What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you another video to our beginner's guide series that we're trying to keep weekly going. So first, obviously you saw the title, so I'm sure everyone's here for that. And then I'm also sure there's people that saw the title, aren't going to watch the video and going to comment about what they think about money per hour here anyways. First things I want to do, I want to shout out my boy Hyrax for turning me on to this spot in general for low gear score. He had been grinding it actually before Archer came out, and then obviously, once Archer came out, if you did catch my Archer leveling video, I did mention this space a bit ahead of time. But one, shout out to him for mentioning it, and two, also apologize to him because if people try out this spot and actually like it and grind there a little more, then I kind of just blew up his spot a little bit. He might have a little more competition. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So here's what we're looking at. Spot, we'll cover where it's at. Hex Sanctuary, couple things I want to mention. I know you guys came because you see the 30, I was very specific. I said up to 30 mil per hour. And in all actuality and honesty, the highest between myself and some other guys that were farming for me, the highest we've actually done here in a single hour was 67 mil, but that was some really, really lucky drops, so it's not that. So I said up to 30 mil because the average is, it's a little lower than that, but it's right around there. But it's something you can realistically expect. If you farm it with any amount of regularity, you know, put in a good 10 hours, you're gonna hit a 30 mil hour for sure. You're gonna stay probably I was gonna say at the end of the video, might as well say now, so then all the people that just want to go straight to the comments and tell me I'm lying, you'll probably do low 20s, right around 22, 23, something like that. What's cool about it is you need like no gear score, virtually nothing. 100 AP is about all you need for this, and you can start doing it maybe even level 49, but I'd probably recommend 50. So if you don't know where Hex Sanctuary is, because you are a beginner and that is the point, it's just south of Calpheon, which you would have visited at some point if you're up in the level 50 range, which is about where you want to be for this anyhow. So here's Calpheon, and then it zips right on straight down. And you can see I have a level 8 node. You do not have to have this, but it does indeed help you. If you're not familiar with what that is, you have to connect nodes from a nearby city in order to get it. So you can start from Keplen over here, and then you can go this route into here, dump some contribution points into each one so that we are invested into Hex Sanctuary. And you can see I have level 8, it does go up to 10, and what it does, if you hover over the little question mark right here, it tells you by investing in this node, you'll get an increased item drop rate of 40%. However, this increased item drop rate will only be applied 10% of the time when you are defeating monsters. So something I often say, much like the Cologne Sex Panther, 60% of the time, it works every time. So anyhow, this goes up 5% each time you invest another level into it. So at level 9, it would be 45%, and at max level 10, it'd be 50% drop rate increase, which is applied 10% of the time. It does help. A lot of people have kind of tinfoil hat about it, and they say even though the game literally tells you it does increase it 10% of the time, the percentage that you've invested, it doesn't work. Well, they didn't lie. The game's not lying. It does that. So there you go. Second thing, I do have Kama Sylvia Blessing. I do farm with Kama Sylvia Blessing pretty much all the time. They just gave out a whole bunch of free ones for the Archer rewards recently, but if you have the loyalties or the pearls that you can spare for it, I do highly recommend it because it does increase your drops pretty significantly overall. So next thing before we jump into what you need to do, let's look at the drops that you can get from here and why is it actually a pretty decent place to farm, especially when you're just getting into the game and need to make some money. So you see the group of weapons that drop right here. These are garbage can. These are terrible. They never sell. Uriel weapons, they just don't sell. They don't. The exception to that is the crossbow, because the Archer just came out, and these are pretty much selling almost right away the second they hit the marketplace. You can see the maximum on them. I mean, we're talking quarter mil, which is what they go for. These other ones, you see the max price is garbage can because they belong in a garbage can. So yeah, the Uriel currently will sell, I would imagine, in a few months when the hype over Archer comes out. These will be garbage can as well. Now, these guys actually do sell, and they drop a ton. So each of these guys is going to net you, the armor piece is a little bit more, but each of these is going to net you right around a quarter mil, some a little bit more, but if on average between these a quarter mil. These three pieces drop heavily. The helm, the glove, and the boot, these things drop super heavily. And then the armor piece, you know, here and there, you probably are going to get, if you're around where I was at, level 8 node, the other guys testing with me were actually level 10 node with Kama Sylvia Blessing, you're probably going to see something like 16 of these pieces, some assortment of these 4 in an hour, right around that period. Now, your big money maker is this bad boy right here, the Witch's Earring. This guy pretty much never goes out of style. It's a 12.5 mil item that will definitely sell when there are events going on where they're like handing out loot boxes that give away Witch's Earrings like crazy. they actually still sell pretty well. Sometimes the price might come down a mil or two, but witches earrings are one of the most consistent pieces, even when the market's flooded with them. I mean, people are going to buy through them. People are trying to make tet witches and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. So these are very valuable. And then when I did, you got to keep in mind too, these can drop enhanced. So when the hour that 67 mil was the capped hour. Oh, and by the way, the low end hour was 15 mil. The worst video was 15 mil so far in an hour. But yeah, the capped one was because there was like, it was like a pry witch's earring dropped and then another witch's earring in the same hour too. It was a pretty ridiculous hour. The other thing that rounds out your money and why the worst hour was 15 mil was because the heave armor pieces weren't dropping that particular hour very well. There were no witch earring drops in that hour, but there were still a ton of these guys. The price right this half a second is going up because, again, people are playing Archer and they're enhancing. These are usually around a mil or so. You can see at the time recording this video, they're up a little bit high. These drop very consistently, so even if you're not just looking to straight money farm, if for some reason you need a ton of memory fragments or you just got your first piece of boss gear, you can definitely farm this place. Super easy to farm and pick up some easy money and save yourself on memory fragments. You do also get from time to time, although these are probably the rarest drop, or they may drop. No, they drop less often than a witch's earring, honestly. These bad boys here, which allow you to go to the Hex Chapel right here. Witch's Chapel, sorry. Witch's Chapel, and you summon up the witch and fight her, and she also has a chance to drop, a pretty decent chance to drop witch's earrings as well. So those are kind of a little bonus. She doesn't always drop it, and be warned, if you are here, because you're around 100 AP, you can see the character we're using is 110 on the main hand, although we mostly only use Awakening on this thing at 106. You can see, be warned, if you do this, you need a group. You can't go do this at that AP. You probably need to be around, honestly, it's your DP that you're going to need. But moving into that, let's talk about AP DP since we pull up the armor anyhow, and that's also the next section. So we can see here I'm rocking 110 AP. My DP, I literally am just wearing pieces of heave that dropped there at some point in the last few days that I've been farming. So that's literally it. It's nothing. So you don't need any DP. If you're getting hit, you did it wrong in the first place. You don't need DP at all for these. I've done it 100%, did it with no armor whatsoever. I do recommend the Asula accessories if you don't have those already. It's nice to pick up. You don't have to have them. You could sub out for like Barris earrings or rings or something like that to kind of get by. Just want to be around the 100 AP. Weapon that I'm using here, we just have the quest garbage bow that they give you for free when you're doing the main storyline quest to get to 50, and then I have the free bow that they gave out for the Awakened Archer thingy there, and just put it up to 7 because why not? It's free to go to 7, and that's it. Literally terrible gear. The offhand, this is actually an item that you can get from what drops here is these sharp bone fragments. This is essentially your trash loot, and you can see there you can exchange 300 of them in Calpheon for an offensive accuracy or defensive sub weapon. I chose the offensive and then just kind of dumped some black stones that I picked up along the way while grinding in this spot into it, so to get up to 13 pretty easily. Then afterwards, once you have your thing enhanced as much as you want or whatever, you can exchange these and sell them if you want to do that, trying to help somebody out, or you can go to Bear, where I'd like to leave my horse, and exchange 100 of them for 55,000 silver. It's not a ton of silver for what you're getting, but considering the difficulty of the level, this is basically your trash loot, and it's not too terrible. The other thing you're going to see, which I have a decent stack of here, is these Prognal, and somebody correct me since I probably pronounced that wrong, Prognal Silver Bar. These drop off of a couple of the elites that are here. Not a couple. These drop off of every elite that's here. There are a few different spawn locations, and I'll show you a few spots that are decent rotations for this, and they'll drop off every single one. They do drop multiple at a time, and so it does vary. What's great about them is they don't carry any weight, so you only need one slot in your inventory, and each one that drops is 20k silver that can be exchanged at a storage keeper. So it's just a little extra silver per hour that's going to help build that number up overall. So before I break it down for you, just so what you can expect, you can see, like I mentioned before, you're going to see about 16 or so armor pieces, weapon pieces, that sort of thing. The Witch's Earring on average is probably about an hour and a half per drop. You can obviously see more. I've had plenty of times when you get 2, 3 in an hour, and obviously at 12.5 mil, just getting 2 of those things dropping, that's 25 mil right off the bat. If you get a 2 Witch Earring hour, you're already at 25 mil, plus you're going to get like 6, 7, maybe 8 of these bad boys on top of it, plus, you know, a decent amount of heave and all this stuff. You can easily see it's going to exceed 30 mil. It's going to happen, and I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, just try it. It's going to work. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run on out here with my Archer. Let's grab some pets. Also, I do have a full set of tier 3 pets, not 4s, just because people tend to ask on loot videos like these. Obviously, you do need to have some pets. They don't have to be the best pets in the world. You don't need all tier 3s, just because at this the way you're kind of doing this, it's fairly slow if you're at 100 AP anyhow, and most of the places are kind of circular, so your pets will loot at a decent rate. Obviously, higher, it goes without saying, higher tier pets are going to be much more valuable as far as looting wise, but that goes without saying, honestly. So the spot I like to farm mostly, and I'll show you 3 spots overall. My favorite little spot is right up this pathway over here. It has 2 elite spawn locations on the, one on the way, which he's up right here, and then there's 2 where I actually farm. So you can see it says Violent over his name. If you look on the mini map over here, you can see how he has a different icon for that there. And then let's just go ahead. So he's the elite one. Let's go ahead and I'll show you how easy these guys are to kill at just 110 AP. Well, that was my Black Spirit skill, but you get the idea, right? So no problem. Boom, dead. Everybody's dead. This guy, boom, dead. Okay, and then there's another elite spawn. Let's see if there's our Prognal Silver Bar that drops off those. We got another elite that spawns right up here. They have like a 20 to 40 minute window that they spawn up, or somewhere around there. So after you kill them, they can respawn anywhere from like 20 to 40 minutes later, and then they'll pop up. That's Ballpark, by the way, which is Magic Pouch, which you see dropped there, and I have a few in my inventory as well. These are just a trade item. Again, just an extra little bonus to your silver per hour that comes in. But you guys see what I'm talking about, 110 AP, and we just one-shot everything. No problem. The elites take like 2 shots, and you just stroll through. Boom. Thanks for all the loot, guys. Have a nice day. So the rotation I like to run is this little circle, as you can see me kind of burning through. Obviously, I'm not killing everybody right now. So you'll kind of run this little circle, kill the things, you know, get your loot going, run through here, kill these things, and you can just kind of circle this around as they respawn. At 110 AP, I pretty much kill them just in time to where it makes it a decent rotation. If you're a little bit higher and trying to do that, or how your class works, maybe you kill it a little faster, you might want to slide down the hill a little bit more just to incorporate a few more mobs that are on the way up to help your respawn time, so you're not wasting time going down here. But that's my particular favorite spot. I'll show you some of the others I do run if they happen to be taken or something like that, because obviously at this gear score, you're not really going to be defending your spot. So this is another one. You can just run up the right-hand side where you see all these mobs through here, blow these bad boys up, strolling on through, and make your way all the way up the thing. And there is a spawn for an elite that pops up here on the left. It doesn't look like he's up at the moment. Kill all these dudes, running on through, and then just loop around, and then go back down the other side. And about the same speed as the last rotation. By the time you kill all the ones on the right side on your way, you'll work your way down and then kill everything on this side. The elite spawns right around here when he is up, by the way. And then you just do that little circle, so on and so forth. You can time it a little bit, and like I said, you can obviously add more. If you get down, you find you're a little bit ahead in the rotation, then just, you know, go down a little further, kill a couple of these things, pick up some more speed. Then the last rotation, this is one I typically run if I go to Arsha server, because it's the worst one of these 3. So nobody really farms it much on Arsha, but you get the increased 50% drop rate if you're on Arsha. So if I'm feeling daring, I'll go down here, and it's kind of like the last one. You're just going to move down the right-hand side of the path, kill everything here, and then you'll go down and loop around and come up the left side of the path, and again, they'll respawn. The only problem with this path is that you can see there's a ton of red dots, but the actual skeletons that are going to drop your witch's earrings and stuff are not as plentiful. So they're here. It's great. If you are on Arsha and nobody's on the rotation, go ahead and grab it, because somebody's almost always on those other 2 rotations, or you'll have one person on both rotations. But yeah, it's not quite as dense, but you know, it's worthwhile if that's all you can get. You can always, of course, server hop to make sure that you're getting a better rotation, since that's the worst one of those 3. And so yeah, here's the right-hand side. You would just run back up this side, sweep on through, and that is it. For the most part, obviously, Archer does decent damage even at lower levels, or at 110. I'm at level 56. The XP is pretty terrible once you get to about 54 here. So if you're looking for XP, this ain't it. This is just for a money at that point. But if you're at level 49's low, about level 50 or so, it's a great spot to come on in and start making some money while you're still leveling, to get prepared, and then maybe try and snipe some boss gear while you get geared up. So yeah, definitely something I recommend as a stepping stone before you move into boss gear, so that way you have a decent way to make some money. It's one of the #1 things new players ask, is how can I make money when I don't have boss gear yet? What should I be doing? And you can see I have trash gear, literal quest gear with just stuff I picked up, and you just burn through these enemies super quick. Try it out, give it a few hours. Don't go for one single hour and only get like, you know, 5 ancient relic shard drops and then say like, oh man, it didn't work out for me. You know, it is RNG. Obviously getting more witch earrings is going to be incredible for you, and I promise you, you are going to, if you do invest in the node especially, you are going to get multiple witch earrings in an hour. It will happen many times for you, and you will definitely make some money from it. So that is pretty much it for that method. The only other one thing I want to point out If you want to turn in, this is where Bear is at over here. So the trade manager over here is where you can turn in those little trash loot items for the silver. What are they called? Sharp bone fragments. You can turn in the 100 for silver there. And if you want to go get the weapon, you can head up to Calpheon here. And it's this little guy right here that you trade in them to get the sub weapon along with it. So you may want to have it set up so that you can run back and forth. If you use storage maids, it does put them into Calpheon, so you may need to run back and forth there. Or if you need to list some stuff on the marketplace, because you're going to grab a lot of green stuff on the way. And if you're selling your ancient relic shards, which you probably shouldn't necessarily do depending on where you're at in the game, but if you are selling them, you're definitely gonna run into a lot of those. So that is pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions or anything about that segment or some other things like this you want to see to continue on with the beginner series, be sure to comment about it below. If this did help you out, make sure you drop a like, and also tell me what kind of stuff you guys were getting per hour in the comments too. I'm sure that there are going to be other people telling me you can't get that kind of loot, and to them I say, pull out a spreadsheet, give it 20 solid hours, 10 to 20 hours of grind, and type in what you get, and you will be surprised how much money you're actually making here, even if you have higher gear score than that. I don't grind here much myself, just have only been trying it for Archer because I can make a little better money in other places with my main character and real gear, but this is an excellent way to start that stepping stone to getting geared up, since the money's actually really consistent in general. Anyways, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to catch more videos like this. I do have a beginner series. I'm trying to do at least one video for the beginning series weekly. We also do patch notes, other guides, discussion videos, and all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications for when these videos go live. And make sure you check out the live stream. The link for the Twitch account is in the bottom description right there below if you want to click on that and check it out. We are doing a 24-hour live stream. The day of recording this is a few days before Christmas, and we are doing a 24-hour live stream on the 23rd going into Christmas Eve, the 24th. So if you do see this before then, come on and check out the live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. That is it for this video. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.